All right, Cowboy Nation. And shout out to the Washington football team. This is a matchup that everybody must see, right? Cowboys getting their reinforcements back. The Washington team is looking at a 4-game winning spree. And, of course, they did it with Tyler Heineken. And he's one of those guys that can find ways to deliver the ball down the field. And he's been utilizing his weapons and hitting his targets, right? However, they battling through some injuries. Logan Thomas, he will be out. It's feared that he torn his ACL. I hope all is well with him. But Gibson been that equalizer for their team on the offensive side. He have 206 carries for 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's been that stabilizer. Far as our running back, it's been Ezekiel Elliott with 173 carries with 765 yards and 8 touchdowns for this season. And when you look at their wide receiver, their leading wide receiver, they call him Scary Terry. And he has 61 receptions for 808 yards and I believe 5 touchdowns. Not bad at all. Scary Terry. And of course, we got CeeDee Lamb. He's been our leading receiver so far with 57 receptions and, of course, 829 yards and 6 touchdowns. And we've been looking for that solid receiver, right? And it's been so far this year, CeeDee Lamb. And, of course, we get the reemergence of our guy, Amari Cooper. This will be his 2nd game back. And, of course, Michael Gallup, he's no one to sneeze at. So we got our guys that's here. On the flip side, Cowboy Nation, let's not sleep on Dak Prescott, 23 touchdowns and 8 interceptions for the season. Not bad at all as far as the ratio. He already threw for 3,170 yards. And this guy's on pace for throwing his better yards this year. But when you look at it, we should get Neville Gallimore back. Let's give a round of applause to Neville Gallimore as well as Randy Gregory. Now, what this do, those guys may be on the snap count, but what this do is also this elevates DeMarcus Lawrence and what we are able to see as well with Michael Parsons. That means that the NASCAR package is about to be here, baby. And I'm not finna sleep on Tristan Hill. And shout out to Osa, who's already been in the mix. We should see better and better front 4 packages creating pressure and getting to the quarterback. And pressure busts pipes, baby. And Tyler, you put pressure in his face, he will give the ball back to the number 1 offense in the NFL. And that is still the Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy Nation. All right, so let's go down to the numbers. The numbers of it, points per game. Points per game, far as what the Washington team exhibit, is 20 points per game. Now, points allowed, they do allow 24. Cowboys on both ends winning in that category. Cowboys allow only 22 points per game, and we're scoring right at 30 points a game. So that's going to be a lot of pressure for the Washington team to hold back the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, 426 total yards is for the Cowboys offense, juxtaposed to 359 total yards for the Washington team. And it is what it is. Numbers are numbers. This will be a home game for the Washington team, so they're going to try to rally their troops behind that, and we'll see what we can do to slow down that operation there. Now, we talked about high-tempo games, right? We talked about Cowboys must be on the same page with establishing a level of consistency. One of the bigger issues with the Cowboys been this front 5, right? And I can see somebody yelling way in the back, but what about Dak, baby? You know, and Dak Prescott, I'm not sitting here saying that he can walk on water. He's going to have to improve too. Trust what he see with his eyes, go through his reads, and then snap the ball to the right guy or push the ball to the right guy, right? Throw the ball to the right guy. That's a better way to say it. The running back scenario, we would know more down the line. We would know more down the line when we see Ezekiel Elliott. We know that he looked hobbled in the last few games, and his mini bye week, I don't know, he may have some of that high Wolverine blood somewhere to rejuvenate some of those ill spots. And hopefully that will be the case in the scenario, because he is still your number one running back, and your number two running back is Tony Pollard. I just wish that the Cowboys figure this thing out and just use both of those guys in the backfield at the same time for the majority of the time, instead of one and then, okay, I'm going to give a lot of other reps to the one and then I'm going to give you the two punch. No. Those boys, they need to get the ball to Tony Pollard early and often, and as well as with CeeDee Lamb. They need to give him the ball early and often. And those things can create better avenue ways for this team on the offensive side of the coin when they do that. But somehow for the last few games, Kellen Moore been a shell of himself. Not a lot of creativity. And I'm not trying to sully or denigrate Kellen Moore, but these next 5 games must be a situation that he can say to himself, I am who you guys thought I am. I am the brilliant, genius, offensive mind of the game. And of course, rhythm in it is everything. The Cowboys must up it, get that rhythm involved a little bit earlier. Now, there's an old saying that defense wins championships, right? And the 6-6 Washington football team, for the most of the season, people kind of geared up to say, hey, that's defense. That defense is something special. Now, overall, they are the 13th ranked defense, right? We just played the number 2/number 3 respectfully defense, right? And special teams with the Washington team, they are number 19 in the NFL. Offense is number 19. So if you're talking about consistent, that's consistent, 19 and 19. And the offense itself overall, of course, that could be an area where the Cowboys can just pounce on that and get the ball back to the number one offense by turnovers and takeaways. So they overall is 17th overall in the NFL. And when we pull up the Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy Nation, overall 3rd in the National Football League. There's only 2 other teams by the metrics alone that's better than the Cowboys. 15th ranking defense, not far away from what we're seeing out of the Washington team, right? 16th in special teams, but number 1 in total offense. And this team still get hit left and right. We know what's been going on, right? We played a season where Cooper been down for the C-19. Michael Gallup missed a plethora of games. Playing musical chairs with the offensive line, and even CeeDee Lamb missed a game. And we're still, respectfully speaking, the number 1 total offense in the NFL. Well, why is that? We got firepower. We just got to establish a level of consistency. And we got 5 games to do such. And I believe it starts up front. That front 5. I said last game, and I'm going to say it this game. Don't touch it. Keep La'el Collins at right tackle. Keep Zach Martin at right guard. Of course, they're not going to move him. And, of course, keep Tyler Biadasz right there at center. And right now, I do know that a lot of people looking at this situation saying, hey, Law, can we put Connor Williams back in? No. You keep Connor McGovern. That's the bed that you decided to make up. You lay in it, right? And keep Tyron Smith where he at. Nobody talk about moving Tyron Smith, by the way. But the level of consistency must start. Well, it started last week, but it must continue this week. And next week and next week and next week. 5 more games. Let these boys get consistent with that. Dak Prescott will trust what he see with his eyes. He will climb the pocket. He'll go through his read. That's when the patience levels will be there. But those footsteps get loud when it's always trying to make the necessary adjustments with what the lack of continuity is up front. But it all starts last week, but we shall continue this week. Now, what start this week will be the front 4 as it relates to the defensive side of the coin. And I believe in the hearts of hearts, Randy Gregory is chomping at the bit to get out there on the field to make something happen against those Washington team. Now, Gallimore as well as Tristan Hill. All of those boys and D-Law, he's coming back for a situation and saying, okay, I knocked the rust out last game. Now I'm looking for revenge against those Washington team. Post me your thoughts, Cowboy Nation. Let me know how you guys feel of the Dallas Cowboys versus the 6-6 Washington football team. And if you're a Washington fan, go ahead, speak your word now. Don't wait too late, right? Speak your words now. I think the Cowboys will prevail against the Washington team if they have the right mindset. Keep everything in front of them. Let Dak Prescott cook, as they say. Let Dak Prescott cook it up. And the trifectas, I believe that they're going to have a feast out there on the field. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Oh, you want to know who the trifectas are? You know, that's of course, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. Those boys about to eat. Don't believe me, just watch. Salute.